What's up, weirdo? Shade Tree Surgeon here, and today's video is about Harley Davidson. And seeing as of the time that I'm recording this, I don't even know what motorcycle is going to be in the thumbnail. I don't know what you guys clicked on. Sounds a little bit weird when I'm standing in front of a bright red Honda Goldwing to say that this video is about Harley Davidson, but I promise you it's about Harley Davidson. Even this Goldwing is. Now, I'll tell you guys, this is not my Goldwing. My Goldwing was bought from a man who was selling it in order to finance his Thai mail-order bride here to America. A Goldwing sold for the most noble endeavor. A Goldwing sold for love, baby. Anyway, this is actually my niece's Goldwing, and we bought this Goldwing from Bert's Barracuda Harley Davidson, which is where we're headed right now to look at some Harleys, sure, but to do a video, which I've done before because I like showing off that you can get cheap bikes at a Harley Davidson dealership that aren't even Harley Davidson. So if there's some cool Harleys there, we'll definitely show them. I'm specifically going to Bert's Barracuda today to see what the absolute cheapest bikes I can find at the dealership are. I don't check beforehand. All I do is go up there and cold call them. Let's see what they got, man. And if I get skunked and they don't have anything, well, I guess there won't be a video. All right, let's see what old Bert's Barracuda's got cooking for us today. Man, I ain't been skunked yet. You can definitely tell how much stuff Bert's does. It's not just your average standard Harley, just by taking a look at their sold line over here, which includes everything from some metric bikes over here to a freaking panhead, okay? They do it all here. Unsurprisingly, I was not disappointed by the selection here on display at Bert's. They got a little bit of everything. And I said I was specifically coming here looking for metric bikes, but that's not all that caught my eye, even though obviously that big white Goldwing right there, this Vulcan Vaquero, like there's definitely some cool metric bikes, but actually a couple of really good deals in Harley Davidsons too. So let's ride some of these motorcycles. Well, up first, I'd like to do something that wasn't a Goldwing, but as soon as I walk in the door, I see a 2006 GL 1800 for $5,900. Thing's only got 50,000 miles on it. Like, yeah. That's the first thing I'm looking at, man. $5,900 for a bike that, even if you don't take care of it, probably is only halfway through its lifespan. You sound like a broken record saying it, but it's barely broke in. This bike's ready to go across the country, and it could be yours, this bike that's capable of so much for less than a cigarette habit per month. But again, enough talking about it. Like, this thing is pristine. Let's go ride it, because I know that this one ain't gonna last long, so I'll make sure I get my turn before it's somebody else's turn. You know, even though I just rode here on a GL 1800, they never get old, man. It's always just amazing how fast these things are. And I like the way the F6B looks, but the way that the regular GL 1800 handles and the way the seating position is, it's actually way better. Yeah, it's always kind of shocking when you get it on one of these and yeah, you do that. Holy mackerel, dude. These things are freaking rocket ships compared to the old Goldwings. To say getting on this is tempting is an understatement. My old GL 1500, the Bangkok bagger, it's still good. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's got like 70-some thousand miles on it, but it's seen better days, and this thing might as well be a brand new motorcycle. And of course, you ain't got to rip it around like you're a freaking little boy racer anyway. It is a Goldwing. It's just nice that that ability is actually there. I'm just saying, for $5,900, the thing about Goldwings, I know I ride them all the time, I always talk about on this channel, but for $5,900, the thing about Goldwings is like how much you get. Like, look at all these buttons. Look at how many buttons you get for $5,900. This entire big ass motorcycle that probably costs almost 20 G's when it was brand new, and you get it for $5,900 and it's only halfway through its life or more. You know, they can definitely go for like 150,000 miles, but probably got to do some regular oil changes if you want that out of it. It handle good. It go good. Yeah, it go real good. It even stops good, man. For $5,900, that's like crappy Sportster money, $5,900, and you get a motorcycle that will bring you some of the most amazing adventures you could possibly imagine. I don't know, man, and that's why I love Bert's, because when they take in metric trade-ins, like somebody probably traded this in on a Harley Davidson touring bike. They probably got like an Ultra Limited or something like that, some big road glide or street glide. That's fine. Those are great bikes too. But Bert's does something a little different than other Harley Davidson dealerships. They actually keep metric bikes around, and they usually just pretty much sell them for whatever they got into them. Bert's philosophy is, as long as you have your knees in the breeze, he really doesn't care what you're riding. If you buy a Honda Goldwing or a Yamaha from him, he just figures that, you know, maybe one day you'll come back and get a Harley, man. He ain't too worried about it. He just likes to see more people on motorcycles. And I've heard him say that so many times, I know it's got to be true. And anybody who knows Bert, they know it's true. And most Harley Davidson dealerships, the minute they get a metric trade-in, they just send that sucker right to auction. Whereas Bert goes, you know what? That'll make somebody a good bike. They keep them on the floor. I like that. And $5,900, this is going to bring an amazing adventure to someone. But I would call quick. Well, you gotta call up here quick, because this bike ain't gonna last. I already got everything I'm gonna ride today picked out. I'm gonna tell you, out of everything I'm gonna ride, this is probably gonna be the one that goes first. Huge thanks to everyone who's noticed, but I have been trying to make my videos a little better, a little more professional, just trying to be better. No one's really been complaining. I'm just trying. And in trying, I managed to cut my head off in a couple shots, because I'm trying, but there's a reason I have to try. It's because I'm not very good with it. Bear with me. I know this looks pretty stupid, but it is what it is, man. Even when I try to be professional, I still manage to suck at it. But maybe a Goldwing ain't your style. I get it. The Goldwing is just ultra New Balance, although I prefer Dad Force ones myself. Just shorts and a polo shirt tucked into it. I just got done mowing the lawn. Time for a nice cold Michelob Ultra and grill up some low-fat steaks. Like, I get it. Goldwing is dorky dad style. I still love them, but maybe that's not your speed, man. Maybe you want something that actually has a metal gas tank on the outside, at least. And I'll tell you, you can still accomplish the same thing. You're still going to be out touring with a fixed fairing. You can get a top box for it. It's got the mounts on this Vulcan Vaquero. That is also $5,900. Literally exactly the same price. Now, if you ask me, I think you get more for your money on the Goldwing, but different people are excited about different things. And also, in my opinion, I still think that the Vulcan Vaquero, outside of the Yamaha Eluder, the best looking metric touring bike, just because of the fairing. It reminds me so much of an old FXR fairing, and really, honestly, the the new Lowrider ST fairing too. Looks like they were copying Kawasaki's homework, but Kawasaki was copying Harley's homework, and Harley was copying Vetter's homework. So anyway, regardless, it's a good-looking bike. Let's take this thing for a ride. And you got the looks, you definitely got the sound over the Goldwing on this one, for most people anyway. I actually like the way a Goldwing sounds with exhaust. This is also undeniable. I mean, I like the way a Goldwing looks too, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I understand. I get it. It ain't for everybody. I guess the Vulcan Vaquero isn't for everybody either, but probably for a few more people than the Goldwing, man. And I don't know, dude. Like I said, I think you get more for your money for the Goldwing, but damn, this is a good looking bike. Less miles too. It's only got 27,000 miles on it. I had a Kawasaki Vulcan, so I can vouch for the reliability, though this is a slightly different engine than the old VN 1500 that I had. Feels like a champ. I'd probably bring these bars back just a little bit, but other than that, this thing freaking rides great. The rear brake needs to be bled, but again, for $5,900, I think this is a 2013. And the bikes aren't going to be absolutely perfect. You got a couple, like a little surface rust there on that piece of chrome. The black right here is a little bit faded. The bike ain't perfect, but you're gonna be paying a whole hell of a lot more for a perfect motorcycle. So if you got the scratch to pay for a perfect bike, knock yourself out. If you're like me and you're looking for a deal, you're willing to overlook a little faded powder coat and paint for a motorcycle that's under $6,000. Get used to that clutch. It's got a hydraulic clutch that is exactly the way it was on my old Vulcan, where it lets out all the way at the end. You would think that means there's something wrong with it, but having had a Vulcan before with a hydraulic clutch, before, that's just how they are. The Vaquero, man, it's one of those bikes that, I mean, I think they actually still make the Voyager version of it, but they don't make this one without a top box, even though this has a quick release top box option. Davidson. I don't know if they make this one anymore. It was one of those bikes that when it came out, I was like, damn, dude, too little, too late. It's such a good looking bike, but it was already kind of came out after Harley Davidson pretty much dominated everything. Although the guys who love Vaqueros, they love them, dude. They're die hard. And they're probably, even though I'm saying nice things about the Vaquero, just because I said it came out too late to compete with the Harley Davidson, they're probably still going to be angry that I said that and talk about how amazing this motorcycle is. It goes all right. It's got a beat. I can dance to it. It sounds good. It's funny how, you know, it's only 100 cc's less big than the Goldwing, although the Goldwing's got an extra 4 cylinders on it, but it is nowhere near as fast as the Wing is. And even though it's not as fast, just with that exhaust and the way you feel the bike shake when you get on it, it feels like it's faster, even though it's nowhere near as fast. Now, that's a trick that Harley Davidson has been using to their advantage for a very, very long time. But of course, motorcycles aren't all about who can go in a straight line the fastest or who can handle the best. You know, there's the whole thing about bikes, how it feels, how much soul it has, and what it makes you feel when you're on it. That's just as important as all the facts and figures and specs, to me anyway, and I know to a lot of you guys who are watching too. And I hate to admit it because I love me a Wing, but the Kawasaki Vaquero definitely's got a little more soul. Now trust me, I'm not saying that the Honda Goldwing is soulless. It's not soulless, but baby, if the Honda Goldwing is Kenny G playing a perfect note on his clarinet or his flute or whatever he has, if that thing is Kenny G playing the perfect note on his flute, well, the Vaquero, baby, is James Brown, all right? 5,900 bucks outside of bleeding that rear brake. This thing's ready to take you on an adventure, baby. Fixed fairing, bags aplenty, ready for a top box if you so choose, though. If you want to stick with the cool guy look, you don't put a top box on it. You got to put a duffel bag on it, man. That's what the cool guys do. Just a Mexican blanket and a duffel bag. No dorky old top box. That's what the Vaquero wants. Oh, it's waiting for you, man. Give old Bert's Barracuda a call. They got a couple of Yamaha Roadstars here that I think would be really good options, too. But, again, they got so many options that I literally don't actually have time to ride everything. Well, maybe you don't want a touring bike at all. Maybe you're in the mood for something else, and this is about as far away from a touring bike as you can get, although I'm sure there's some psychopaths in Europe that tour on Ducati Monsters. This is a 2013 matte white Ducati Monster. It's a little bit more than the other two bikes, but it's a little bit newer. It's $1,000 more. This one's $6,900 instead of $5,900. Now, it's still an air-cooled bike, of course, but man, you got the updated Brembos up front. This thing's got a Krapovich exhaust on it that's probably right there. It's got to be worth like $2,500 bucks. I don't know how much those cost, but a dual can, a Krapovich exhaust on a Ducati Monster, that don't come cheap, baby. The only one I've spent time on is Cami Bay's Monster, and I love that bike. Even though I'm 300 pounds, I will tell you, surprisingly enough, I actually fit on that bike really well, and I'm totally comfortable on it. Now, I don't know if I'm totally comfortable to look at on it, but that sounds like somebody else's problem, because you know what, baby? It's just like having a little dick. Who are you gonna make happy with that thing? Me. That already got someone taking it home?
I got someone looking at it.
Again, I'm going to try to have this video out as soon as possible because, you know, they get new bikes in all the time, but you got to call fast to get these deals. And yes, Bert does ship motorcycles, or, you know, you can just fly in and ride at home. That's always an option. Definitely a little more aggressive than Cami's Ducati, but again, even at my size, I'm 5'12 and a half, 300 pounds, I feel totally fine on it. I don't feel cramped, I don't feel weird, I don't feel like I'm a dog fucking a football. I look like a dog fucking a football, but I don't feel like one, and that's what's important, right? Right. And someone freaking loved this bike, covered in Rizoma parts. It's got that Krapovich exhaust, like, This thing is pretty freaking nice. I loved it when Ducati did this matte white too. I just thought it was such a good look. Cami loves her black, but I really like this matte white look. And it's just like Cami's bike, where it's like, you know, the bike's not that fast. I mean, it's not slow. It is not a slow bike, trust me. But it's not that fast, you know? It's not a freaking GSX-R 1000 or an R1 or something. It's a Ducati and it's a 700cc air-cooled V-twin. But everything about the bike, they just have so much soul. Just everything about it feels fast. It's one of those things where you really won't get into that much trouble, but it does encourage a whole lot of hooliganism, but usually never takes you too far to come back from, you know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying it's completely safe. It's still a motorcycle, baby, and it still freaking moves, all right? It'll still pull the front wheel in the air. You know, it leaves that little bit of room there where you can feel like you're going completely to the bleeding edge, but you're not. You can still recover from it. That's a really special thing that specifically that I've always found that Ducati Monsters and a few other bikes like the freaking Yamaha 700 and a couple other ones, they give you that feeling of being absolutely balls to the wall without being quite so dangerous as absolutely balls to the wall. I believe I have just made a critical error. I was like, I'm gonna take this, I want to ride this motorcycle a little farther. Now we got traffic. This is definitely one of those bikes where, like, as soon as I'm taking it out, like half the salesmen come out and like, oh yeah, we love riding that motorcycle. I just love taking it out. This thing's only got 3,900 miles on it. Am I reading that right? Freaking 3,900 miles on this motorcycle. Holy moly. I wonder what they traded it in on. I wonder if they traded it in on like a Sportster S or something. Yeah. Slow is not the word to describe this. It's not slow. But what it is freaking fun, man. Engine with a ton of character, big old freaking brakes, man. It's got the radial mounted Brembos on it. Everything works like it should. Like, yes, the name of the game is fun. I wondered why I was idling high. I had the enrichment knob turned up. I didn't know. It's a freaking 2013. I love that it's still an old school motor, man. Still got an enrichment freaking lever right there. Fast idle. Not bitching about modern classics. Old spit calling me wrong. I love modern classics. This Ducati Monster, the 696 engine, the air-cooled engine, definitely qualifies it as a modern classic. It's nice that even in 2013, Ducati was making a dead simple motorcycle with really good parts on it. So that's what a lot of people don't do. They make a modern classic and they just use it as an excuse to put substandard parts on it, man. I mean, this sucker's got freaking upside down forks, Brembo brakes, like everything's nice as hell on it, dude. And the engine's super nice too, and it runs like a freaking champ, but it's a really simple, easy to work on design that you can work on yourself at home. Ton of freaking stuff out there for them. There's a reason they call this the Italian Sportster. It's because it's just a damn good bike that's easy to work on yourself, man. You can do a lot worse than a Ducati Monster. That's for damn sure. I mean, 2013, the bike is 10 years old, but 3,900 miles? The damn thing is basically brand new for freaking under $7,000. With half the mods that you put on one of these things anyway. I don't know, seeing as I own a Goldwing, so I don't need the Vaquero. Out of all the bikes I've been on so far, this Ducati might actually be my choice. Now, I'm not going home with it, so you still got a chance at it, but I think so far, this would be the one I actually picked. Ducati, they have this little thing they do too, where Cammy's Ducati is exactly the same way. At least it is for me. Like when I'm just sitting and not going very fast, I feel like I've got too much weight on my hand. But when I actually start moving and I get just a little bit of wind pushing on my chest, I feel like I'm in exactly the right position, that the wind just provides enough support that I don't have that much pressure on my hands anymore, and everything's just perfect. I don't know if that's everybody on Ducati, but on the Monsters, those are the only two I've ever ridden, that's my experience on them, and I really like it. All right, let's park this thing, because this is definitely, out of everything I've been on, the most tempting. Trust me, I know what you're saying. Usually when I do these videos, it's $1,000 bike, or a $1,200 bike, or even like a $600 bike, and I'm not leaving you behind. I know my ultra deal guys are out there, and that's what you want to see. That's actually what I want to see too, so trust me, I'm not leaving you guys out. I already know what price I'm putting in the thumbnail too, because it is actually here, the cheapest bike at the Harley Davidson dealership. But let's look at something that is actually under $1,000. For all you guys out there looking for the deal and you just want to have something to have fun on, baby, this is the bike for you. But don't just call the dealership. You call the dealership, you got to ask for John specifically. Ask for John. So ask for John and the blue Buell, and make sure you tell him Shade Tree sent you, because once again, this one probably won't last long. Yes, it's the much maligned but much loved by some, and I'm definitely in the love category, Buell Blast. This is a small bike that Eric Buell designed for Harley Davidson to use in their training class, but a lot of people just ended up absolutely loving them, and it's actually a really neat design because this is literally half a Sportster engine. Now, I'm not kidding you, it's half a Sportster engine. The entire makeup of this bike is literally literally just a one-cylinder Sportster. So there's so many parts that are interchangeable. You can still work on them. They're easy as hell to work on. Big single-cylinder, punchy engine that just runs for freaking ever, and once again is infinitely rebuildable. So if you want something that's even lighter and smaller and easier to ride than a Sportster, but still fun and still handles well, the Buell Blast is where it's at. And this one is $800. When it comes to a vehicle that runs on gasoline and goes when you twist the throttle or press the pedal, $800 don't get you very far anymore these days. So that is probably, even though there is a $600 bike, you just hold up on that one with me for a second. $800, that's about as good as it gets, baby. And this is pretty damn good for 800 bucks. And yeah, I did promise a $600 bike. And I will tell you, I think the Buell is probably a better deal at 800 bucks, but if $600 is what you got in your pocket, 1991 Nighthawk 750 that, I mean, it might run. I'd spray a little bit of starting fluid in it and cross my fingers, but it ain't got no headlight and definitely doesn't have a battery that works. $600, you can't bitch that much, babe. If you're looking for the absolute bottom of the barrel, there you go, man. $600. And $600 don't get you much anywhere. Don't even be trying to say that's what 600 bucks gets you at a Harley dealership. You go to your local metric dealership or any dealership or a Harley dealership, I don't care where, and you find me something with 2 wheels and a gasoline motor for 600 bucks, I'll wait, because you ain't gonna do it. Well, now it's time for me to have a little more fun. I usually like to do these videos where I go find the cheaper bikes at the dealership, the deals, and then I'll go pick out something that I personally really like. And this time it was between 2 bikes for me for my favorite used motorcycle at Bert's Barracuda right now, and it was real close. It was almost this Milwaukee 8 Road King Police Special over here. This is one of my very favorite motorcycles, man. If you guys know me, you'll know I love a Road King. I especially love a Road King Police. I love those seats, and it's $15,000, which ain't free. Man, what year is this thing even? It's a 2020 Police Road King. I tell you, I'm halfway tempted to ask him, like, hey, well, how much exactly would my payments be? How much would they be on this? Maybe that's why I couldn't pick it as my favorite, because if I went and rode it around, I might be too tempted. And I know those payments probably wouldn't be that horrible, but I also know that I don't want to pay them right now, so I'm not even gonna try. I had to leave that one behind. It ain't my favorite today, but it would have been my favorite. It absolutely would have been if there wasn't a V-Rod Muscle sitting on the lot right now. The V-Rod Muscle, this is a really special bike, man. It's actually the same price as the Road King. It's just a little bit of difference is you can buy a brand new Road King. You can't buy a brand new V-Rod anymore, much to their detriment, I think. Harley Davidson stopped making the V-Rod, but the V-Rod Muscle, this was the ultimate expression of V-Rod, the fastest one they ever did, and this one is in phenomenal shape. As I said before, I love me a Road King, especially a Police Road King, but when there's a V-Rod Muscle on the showroom floor, baby, I ain't walking away without looking at this thing 2, maybe even 3, possibly even 6 or 7 times. This is a hell of a motorcycle and definitely my pick for the favorite one on the lot. But that's enough talking about it. I never turned down a chance to ride a V-Rod. Let's take this thing for a rip. I'll tell you this, boys, whenever it comes to perks, never turn down the perks. Life is all about the perk. When one of those perks is getting to swing a leg over a Harley Davidson V-Rod, a bike that unfortunately I'll probably never own, I definitely take it, okay? I definitely take that one. Now 15 G's, baby, 15 G's. Woo-hoo! Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. $15,000 definitely ain't free for a V-Rod, but the whole thing about V-Rods is you can't exactly wait around for them to go down in price anymore. They're not going down in price anymore. They're going up in price. Now, if you're waiting for them to go down, unfortunately, you've missed your window. Now, the V-Rod is that bike where everyone likes to talk about how Harley Davidson's never updated anything and they've ever done anything at all new. Damn. Well, this bike actually came out in 2001, and every time somebody says that, V-Rod owners are always just kind of like, what am I, chopped liver over here? It is kind of annoying because people will say that. You know, the Twin Cam came out in 2000, the V-Rod came out in 2001. Everyone's like, oh, Harley Davidson, they're just selling you yesterday's technology. All this stuff is so old. And the V-Rod owners, of course, are like, well, not the V-Rod, so you're wrong about that. And then they'll just go, yeah, well, accept the V-Rod. Well, you can't just say accept the V-Rod. Like, the V-Rod exists. this. You can't go except the V-Rod. So in 2001, you had the twin cam, the Sportster, and the V-Rod. Like, what else did you have? That's a fully 1/3 of the motorcycles that they're offering. 33% of the engines that they're offering is V-Rod. So it's like, you can't say except V-Rod. They don't discount the V-Rod like that. Don't you be casting aspersions on the V-Rod name like that? Kind of ridiculous. I mean, if they had like 10 different other engines, now they had multiple other motorcycles, but there's only 3 engines. If they had like 10 engines, like a lot of Japanese manufacturers do, and they were all super old, I'd say, like, yeah, you go except the V-Rod. But no, this was like the large part. They had 3 engines in their lineup, and this was one of them. It's not except the V-Rod. And again, I'm not trying to freaking suck Harley's dick over here. I don't have to. You just can't say it, man. You can't say that they didn't have stuff that was modern and that was in fact a lot more modern than what a lot of other manufacturers were offering at the time, because in 2001 they did. They had a good mix, man. You could get a super old school Evo Sportster, you could get the updated big twin, the twin cam, and you could get a liquid cooled double overhead camshaft V-Rod, man. You had, I think that's a pretty good option for 3 different motors being available, but that's just me, all right? If you really needed your bike to say Harley Davidson on the side, you could get a bike that came with all the bells and whistles, liquid cooling, super advanced engine. Porsche helped design this thing. It was derived from a race engine. Like, this is a special motorcycle. I will not hear no mess talked about V-Rods, all right? Yeah, I'm especially not gonna hear no mess talked about V-Rods when they can do this too. And all you be talking no mess about V-Rods, baby. This motorcycle freaking gets it, all right? Woo! You think about what was on offer in the year 2001, this motorcycle was, I mean, it was at the top of the food chain, man. Of course, you had bikes that were faster. Somebody's always got a bigger dick. And, you know, someone down in the comments, some freaking Poindexter nerd is gonna be like, oh, by the way, this bike was faster. Just saying, dude, this was a fast-ass motorcycle when it came out. I don't care what it said on the side. I don't care what else anybody was making. When this motorcycle came out, it freaking rocked. It wasn't fast for a Harley. You know, it didn't handle good for a Harley. It was just fast and it handled good. No caveats needed. Don't do that to the V-Rod. It doesn't deserve it, man. Like, put a butt on there, or for a Harley, or whatever else. You just stop yourself right there, man. This motorcycle deserves better than that. And a lot of people will say that Harley just didn't care about the V-Rod, but they kept this thing in production for a very long time. It never sold as well as a lot of the other ones, and it was always a little more of a cult classic, but one of those things that we'll say was definitely ahead of its time. The V-Rod was a little too early. It came too soon, and people just didn't appreciate it. And you can't even go, oh, Harley owners don't care. Anybody could have bought this bike. Like, you're the kind of guy who likes a Ducati Diavel, or like a Yamaha V-Max, or the old Honda Magna V65s, like those fast-ass cruiser muscle bikes. Like, that market exists. So don't be like, oh, Harley guys didn't like it. Maybe people were just afraid because it said Harley Davidson on the side, but this bike could have gone toe-to-toe with anything in its category and come out on top back in the day, and also for most of its product run as well. Just like the Yamaha V-Max and the V65, even right now in 2023, the Harley V-Rod, this is a force to be reckoned with. People just don't see this thing coming, man, and by the time they see it coming, you're freaking long gone. If I had all the money in the world, yes, I would have this Harley Davidson V-Rod muscle, but I don't. So I'm just gonna have to be happy that I got to twist the throttle wide open, and this is gonna make somebody else a super, super awesome bike that is just an amazing piece of history, a time and a place that you can ride around, man. And you could do a lot worse, that's for sure. Again, let's park this thing before I start asking questions I don't want to know the answer to. Obviously, there's way more bikes that I didn't test ride than I did test ride. Really nice twin cam deluxe over here. Got a CVO Road King and a 110th anniversary Road King over here, which I like a lot too. Although the Milwaukee 8 Road King is still my favorite. This Softail Deuce over here was actually traded in by my good friend Dr. Dad. My man Mike over there traded that in, and I've been on that bike. bike. That bike hauls ass. But he wanted something with bags on it, so he did end up trading it in. And of course, there's metrics I didn't ride. They got a Honda Grom over there for $2,000. They got those Yamaha 1300s that I was talking about. And of course, it is a Harley Davidson dealership, so if that's what you're looking for, that's here too. I don't have to say nice things. Nobody's holding a gun to my head saying do this. Nobody's forcing me to do anything. A lot of my friends have bought bikes here. Like I said, there's 2 used bikes that are trade-ins from close personal friends of mine on the lot right now. What I love about Bert's is they've never asked me to tell a lie. When you're looking for a deal and you're looking for someone to treat you right, looking for somebody to answer the phone when you call, Bert's is the place, man. And I know in a lot of people's hometowns, the Harley Davidson dealerships aren't like that. You know, they ain't out here throwing parties. They ain't out here having a good time. They ain't out here giving away free beer in the showroom. It's not like that, man. Especially they ain't keeping around cheap bikes and metric bikes. They're just gonna try to put you on the most expensive bike on the showroom floor, as opposed to here where, like I said, I'll walk over here and look at these sold, the Rebel 1100 over there as well. Walk over here and look at these sold bikes, and you're just sitting here going like, man, they got everything from panheads to metric bikes to XG 500s. They got this freaking chopper over here that's just absolutely wild, man. They don't need to put you on a $45,000 bagger. If you want to be on a $40,000 bagger, they will certainly put you on one. They're more than capable of doing that. But you call up, you say what you can afford, you say what you're looking for, or you ask for one of those Shade Tree Surgeon specials, and they'll treat you right. If you're buying an $800 bike, or if you're buying an $8,000 bike, or if you're buying a $48,000 bike, what I like about Bert's is you're gonna get treated exactly the same no matter what, which is only a problem for the dudes who are buying CVOs and want to get treated way better than everybody else. So sorry to tell you that everybody gets treated good around here, man. The guy buying the Honda Rebel over there, or the Buell, they're gonna get treated the same as the dude who's buying a CVO. I think that's pretty special, and that's why I come here and make these videos, because I think that's worth talking about, because people are afraid to walk in a Harley Davidson dealership. Like, I don't know, they're gonna get profiled, or someone's gonna say they have no money, or they're gonna ride up on a Honda and someone's gonna be like, what are you doing here on that metric crap? It's just not the case here, man, and people should know about that. Give Bert's Barracuda a call, ask about those bikes. I'd call quick if I were you. I'm gonna release this video tomorrow, so they're about to close right now, so if you call first thing in the morning, you might actually get them. But usually whenever I put bikes in a video like this, they're gone within a couple weeks, so make sure you jump on that one, and make sure you tell them old Shade Tree sent you. Till next time, yo, keep it weird.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Shade Tree, Army! Shade Tree, Army! Armies of the night, evil taking flight. Shade Tree, Army! Shade Tree, Army! Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, panic spreading far and wide. Can the world oppose the deadliest of foes? Shade Tree, Army! Shade Tree, Army! Who will risk it all to end the evil call of Shade Tree, Army! Shade Tree, Army! They never give up, they never say die, walking tall with banners high. Shade Tree Army, a ruthless gang of scum, villains, freaks, and bikers determined to rule the world.